Most people have absolutely no idea that certain plants can completely change the energy inside a home. And I'm not talking about decoration. I'm talking about plants that cultures around the world have used for thousands of years to attract peace, remove negativity, invite abundance, and spiritually protect the people living inside. The strange part, many of these plants are sitting in garden centers right now, and most people have no idea what they're truly capable of. Today, I'm showing you 10 of the most powerful spiritual plants that can quietly transform the energy of your home. Stick around for number 7. This plant has been grown at cottage doorways for over 500 years, and most garden centers don't even carry it anymore. And number 10. I saved the most powerful one for last. It was used in blessing ceremonies across 3 continents, and it grows like a weed once you plant it. You are going to want to hear that one. But before we get into it, if you believe that real gardening wisdom should be passed down and not forgotten, hit that subscribe button right now. That is exactly what we do here at Golden Garden Secrets every single week. Let's get into it. Number 1. Rosemary. And I want you to think about this plant differently from the moment I say its name. Because rosemary is not just something you throw on a roast chicken. Ancient Greeks wore rosemary crowns to sharpen their memory and clear their minds before important events. For centuries, European grandmothers grew it right at their front doors, not because it looked nice, but because they believed it protected the home and strengthened the bonds between the people living inside it. There is even an old piece of folklore that says the strength of the rosemary plant in your garden reflects the strength of the woman of the house. Think about that the next time yours starts looking a little droopy. To use it, grow rosemary in a terracotta pot right by your front entrance in full sun. It is tough, it is evergreen, and it asks for almost nothing. And here is the simple practice. Brush your hand gently through the leaves as you walk in. That releases the oils, the fragrance, and according to generations of women who swore by this plant, the energy. Rosemary doesn't just smell like a Sunday roast. It smells like protection. It smells like home. But if rosemary is the memory keeper, our next plant is the one that actually draws good fortune through your wine. Number 2. Basil. Now this one has one of the most widespread spiritual reputations of any plant on this list. Across Italy, India, and the Caribbean, 3 completely different cultures with very little in common, basil was kept near doorways and windowsills to attract prosperity and push away bad luck. In some Italian villages, a pot of basil sitting on the windowsill was an actual signal. It told the neighborhood that this home was protected, that good fortune lived here. In Hindu tradition, holy basil, called tulsi, is treated almost like a family member. It is watered with devotion, tended daily, and its presence at the entrance is considered a blessing on every single person who crosses that threshold. You don't need to do anything complicated. Just keep a pot of fresh basil near your front door or your kitchen entrance. Keep it healthy, keep it growing, and according to every tradition that has ever grown this plant with intention, let it do its work. Basil is the kind of plant that quietly gets on with it, growing, blooming, protecting, asking for nothing but a little sunlight and water. Now this next one is where things get really interesting, because it doesn't just attract good energy, it actively pushes the bad energy out. Number 3. Lavender. Roman soldiers carried lavender into battle, not for decoration, but to calm their nerves before combat. Medieval women tucked it into door frames and linen cupboards to bring a sense of peace into the home. And here is the detail that I find extraordinary. Lavender was one of the first plants that settlers brought with them when they moved to a new home. Before furniture, before curtains, before anything else, the lavender went in the ground first, because a calm home was considered the foundation of everything. To use it, plant lavender in pots flanking your front door or beneath a bedroom window. Dry the sprigs in summer and hang them indoors so the calming energy carries through the colder months when the plant goes quiet. When lavender is growing by your door, you don't just smell peace as you walk in. You feel it. You feel your shoulders drop. You feel your breath slow. And that is not an accident. That is hundreds of years of wisdom doing exactly what it was always meant to do. Number 4. Bay Laurel. The same leaf you use to flavor your soups and stews has one of the most extraordinary spiritual histories of any plant in the world. Ancient Greeks and Romans crowned their victors with bay laurel, not gold, not jewels, leaves, because bay laurel was associated with the highest levels of achievement, prosperity, and divine favor. Households kept it near their doors for thousands of years to welcome abundance and invite success into the home. And here is the practice that has been done for millennia and is still done today. Write an intention on a dried bay leaf, something you want to bring into your life. Then burn it safely and release that energy. It sounds simple because it is simple. The most powerful practices usually are: keep a potted bay laurel near your front entrance or grow it as a small tree in a large container. Place a dried leaf in your wallet if you want to set a financial intention. Bay laurel does something most manifestation practices only talk about. It actually holds the energy of success in your space, quietly and constantly. Next up, a plant that grandmothers specifically grew to protect the people they loved most. Number 5. Marigold. If there is one plant that appears across more cultures and more spiritual traditions than almost any other, it is the marigold. In Mexico, marigold petals are used in Day of the Dead ceremonies to guide and protect loved ones. In India, marigold garlands are hung at doorways during Diwali to welcome prosperity and bless the home. In Eastern European folk tradition, they were planted at property boundaries to keep negative energy out. The same flower, three completely different parts of the world, the same purpose. And the reason is not coincidence. It is that rich, sharp, unmistakable scent. That smell was believed to be so powerful it could stop negative energy at the very threshold of your home. Plant marigolds in containers on either side of your front door. Replace them seasonally to keep the energy vibrant and alive. And choose the boldest, most vivid colors you can find, because in every tradition that ever worked with this plant, the brighter the marigold, the stronger the protection. There is a reason marigolds show up at the most sacred moments in cultures around the world. They don't just decorate a doorway, they sanctify it. If you're watching this and already thinking about which of these plants your home might need, hit that like button right now. And tell me in the comments, do you believe plants can actually influence the energy of a home? I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to hear what you think. Number 6. Mint. Ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all used mint in purification rituals. It was strewn across floors, tucked into doorways, and used to cleanse the energy of a space after illness, conflict, or heavy emotion. It was even mentioned in the Bible as one of the tithing herbs, considered so valuable it was offered as a sacred gift. And here is the practical wisdom. Keep mint in a contained pot near your entrance. It will spread aggressively if you plant it directly in the ground, so give it boundaries. Once a month, crush a few leaves and rub them along your doorframe. It is a cleansing practice that takes 30 seconds and has centuries of tradition behind it. Mint doesn't just refresh the air, it refreshes the entire energy of the space, like opening every window at once, but for your home's spirit, now. Number 7. The one I promised you at the very beginning. Number 7. Rue. And I want you to really hear this one. For over 500 years, rue has been hung near doorways across Italy, Greece, and Latin America specifically to protect the home from the evil eye and from negative energy entering the space. Grandmothers in Mediterranean villages would not dream of living without it, and it was not decoration. It was considered as essential to the home as locking the front door at night. It was protection you could see, you could smell, and you could trust completely. Hang dried bunches of rue above your front door, or grow it in a pot at your entrance. One important note: rue can irritate sensitive skin and it is not safe for pets or children to ingest, so treat it with the respect it deserves. Rue is like having a spiritual security guard at your door, one that never sleeps, never asks for anything, and has been quietly doing this work for 5 centuries. That one has been forgotten for far too long. But our next plant has been hiding in plain sight in almost every garden center in the world. Lemon balm. Medieval European monasteries cultivated lemon balm specifically for its ability to lift the human spirit. They made what they called gladding tonics, preparations given to people suffering from deep grief or prolonged sadness. The name balm itself comes from balsam, which for centuries described something that healed and soothed the soul, not just the body. Grow lemon balm near your kitchen or garden seating area. Brush the leaves as you pass to release that extraordinary bright lemony fragrance. Steep fresh leaves in boiling water for a tea that genuinely calms the nervous system. This is not folklore. This is well documented. Lemon balm doesn't promise to fix everything. It just makes the hard days feel a little softer, a little more manageable. And sometimes that is exactly what a home needs to be. A place where the hard days feel lighter. 2 plants left, and I promise you, the last one is worth every second of waiting. But first, number 9 has a history so ancient it will completely change how you see your garden. Number 9. Jasmine. Across Asia, the Middle East, and the Mediterranean, jasmine has been grown near homes and woven into wedding ceremonies for thousands of years. It is a symbol of love, of spiritual connection, and of divine blessing. And here is the detail that I find genuinely extraordinary. In some traditions, jasmine blooming near your doorway was considered a sign that your home was being watched over by protective spirits. A blessing that you could not buy, could not manufacture, and could not fake. The jasmine either bloomed or it didn't. And when it bloomed, your home was favored. Train climbing jasmine near your front door, or grow it in a large pot beside a sunny window. When it blooms, the fragrance fills your entire home. And in every tradition that has ever worked with this plant across thousands of years, that scent is associated with angels, with blessings, and with love that endures. When jasmine blooms at your home doesn't just smell beautiful. It feels chosen. And now, the one I have been building toward since the very first second of this video. Number 10. Vervain. Called the holy herb across ancient Rome, across Celtic Britain, and across indigenous traditions on multiple continents, vervain was used in blessing ceremonies, in temple purification rituals, and in sacred space cleansing for thousands of years. Druids gathered it with specific ceremonies at specific moon phases. Roman priests used it to cleanse their altars, and ordinary families across Europe grew it at their front doors and made vervain water to bless their homes, their families, and everyone who walked through their doors. And here is what makes this plant so extraordinary. It looks completely ordinary. Small purple flowers on a tall spike, growing quietly in meadows and roadsides. No dramatic presence, no exotic appearance. Just a modest, patient plant that has been holding one of the most powerful spiritual reputations in the entire plant world for millennia. Grow vervain in a sunny spot near your entrance. Steep fresh sprigs in water overnight, and use it to cleanse your doorway. Hang dried bunches above your door as generations before you did without question. Vervain reminds us that the most powerful protection is never loud and never complicated. It is quiet, it is ancient, it is patient. And it has been growing in fields for thousands of years, just waiting for us to remember. If this video changed the way you think about the plants around your home, then imagine what happens when you begin intentionally growing plants that do more than just look beautiful. Tell me in the comments, which one of these spiritual plants surprised you the most, and which one are you bringing into your space first? And if you haven't subscribed yet, this channel is dedicated to uncovering the forgotten garden wisdom hidden in nature itself. New videos every week, secrets most people will never discover. I'll see you in the next one.